Hello everyone, this is VJose30 back again with another Kickstarter Hall of Shame induction. And I want you to know, first of all, I've been holding off on this one for a while. I think I mentioned it before in one of my other inductions not too long ago. Been holding off on it for a while. I've been trying to give the person an opportunity, a chance to do something, anything, and they have failed as far as I'm concerned, and I've held off long enough. And you know what, honestly, I will say that I hope that they do something eventually, and that I eat my words on this one, because I really want this creator to prove me wrong and to actually do something. However, I have lost all patience and trust in this creator to do the right thing at this point in time. And that creator is, and actually let me just say first of all again something I said in previous videos, I think, more or less, and that is, with these videos I am not trying to slander or libel anyone. Anything I say is based on facts, and that is that. I know some people have had issues with some of my comments on their projects, and I mean, it is what it is, but so far she hasn't proven me wrong. Is she a scammer? I don't know. Today's induction is Natalia, aka Artganics. What is Artganics? It's another account she used for a different card project, one card project, which we'll get to. Her last login to Kickstarter on her main account was in June, 2 months ago now, over 2 months ago. Yeah, over 2 months ago. That was also her last update on those projects. The last update, and I guess login on her Artganics account, was in February. And let me state this. Those updates she posted in these recent projects, most recent ones I guess, the ones that are outstanding. By the way, she currently has 5, not 1 or 2, but 5 projects that she is yet to deliver on, and that is wrong. That is unacceptable. She shouldn't be launching more and more projects without delivering previous ones. That is probably why her most recent project had a very low amount of funding and backer support. Anyway, the last update she posted on these projects only happened after I reported her to Kickstarter for a lack of updates, and miraculously she posted an update. Unfortunately, it wasn't an update because it was just a copy and paste essentially of her previous last several updates. Let me look at that right now. So these are the projects in question. The first one is the Muertos playing cards. Actually, first there's the Crazy Deck, which is on her Artganics account, which is the only project she's done there. First of all, A, I don't know why she needed a separate account for this one. B, she has largely ignored this one since it funded. In fact, she has only posted 3 updates there. One was a promo she did, giving everyone extra decks for no real reason. Then she posted one when she funded, and then there was one in February, which really wasn't much of an update. So there's that one. As for her main account, there is the Muertos, which funded in July of 2017, over a year ago now. They had $5,600, almost $5,700 out of a $3,000 goal. And there's the counterpart to that, the Muertos Animals Edition, which funded last August, so a year ago now, and they had almost $11,000 out of a $7,000 goal. And both of those had well over 100 backers on them. Almost 150 and 175 on each one of those. Then there was the Avalon playing cards, which had almost 330 backers, and they had $15,000, almost $16,000 out of a $15,000 goal. So it was a pretty big goal. It surpassed it, not by a lot, but it was one of her biggest goals to date. And most recently, there is the Last Legion project, which I was pretty vocal on because launching, I mean, for one, it wasn't really my cup of tea, but then, of course, she is launching this deck despite having all these other ones that she has done nothing with. That's just not acceptable to me. Don't launch more projects if you can't even bother to deliver the previous ones, especially after all this time. It should not take this long to get these things delivered and produced and delivered, I should say. The Last Legion one had $5,200 out of a $5,000 goal. Only 93 backers in comparison to the one before that, the Avalon, which had, like I said, almost 330 backers, to be exact. That's a far cry. And some people actually said in the comments, and look at this, I post a lot of comments warning people. The only comments she ever posted was, listen to positive people and ignore negative ones. People that doubt, judge, and disrespect, not worth your time and attention. That was her one comment, one of the comments she posted on there. She also banned me from her projects, which is fine. You can't ban me because I quit. And she said basically, don't mistake my silence for ignorance, my calmness for acceptance, and my kindness for weakness. And she promised I would get a refund. I never did. Not once did I get a refund from any of these projects that I'm waiting on. And yeah, I was a bit vocal and crazy in some of my comments. I wouldn't say I was saying anything bad, but I was telling people she has not posted any comments, no updates, no information. She had all these other projects that were overdue with no updates or anything like that, and people should avoid her. And there were people saying that I turned off a lot of backers. Maybe I did turn off some, but I don't think I turned off 100, 200 backers away. She turned them off by not doing anything, and her comments did not respond to any of my criticisms, just saying trust me, basically. No, I don't trust you. And she also posted a comment that says, I think V. Jose is in love with me. Seriously, that's the comment she posted? That was the last comment she posted on any of her projects, I believe. By the way, with the Last Legion project, she did not post a single update. Zero. Not even an update like on her other projects saying, yay, we funded. No, not even that. And probably with a good reason. Probably because of the fact that she was the sole reason that project funded. And I don't mean because of her promotion or advertising. That project funded, the Last Legion project funded, because she herself pledged at least $500 or $600 into the project, which put it over the funding goal. That information is available via KickTrack, where you will see that. And actually you can look at, if I look at her Art Ganix account where the crazy deck is, you will see that she backed one project. That one project is the Last Legion. Also, clearly, you can see under the Art Ganix account the name of Natalia Silva, which is her name. And incidentally, like I said, if you go to KickTrack, you will see one of the last days of that project there was a spike of, I believe, over $800 in funding, which is unheard of on her projects. It just doesn't happen. Usually it's just a slow downward trend towards the end of the project. None of the projects I saw had anything like that. And also, there was nothing. If you look at the last losing project, there is no tiers that would have accounted for that much in funding. And some would say, oh, well, you know, maybe I was one of the wholesalers that pledged for decks or whatever. You can pledge $1,080 for a gross of decks, 144 decks. That's for wholesalers or resellers. A brick is $130. There's nothing in between. There's nothing that adds up that somebody could pledge for that would account for that money. So, I mean, it is somewhat speculation. However, 2 and 2 always adds up to 4. And to me, it's adding up to Natalia Silva making sure that project funded. And some might say, oh, you know, that's great. She made sure the project funded so that people get the decks. But thus far, she has done nothing to make sure anyone has gotten their decks. I could look at this a different way, personally. If I was a scammer, it's just hypothetically speaking, because I'm not a scammer. If I was a scammer, let's say Joe Blow was a scammer, and he was running projects on Kickstarter, and he'd gotten projects funded, he got a bunch of money, and he has another project, and he wants to scam people out of money. And it's almost funded, but it's not quite there. Well, you know, what if he puts in $500 or $600 to make sure it gets funded, and then he walks off with $4,000? Hypothetically speaking, that is a small possibility that that is what has happened. That is something that scammers could definitely do. Not to say that Natalia Silva did that or that she is a scammer. Definitely there's a possibility that she added the money to make sure it's funded. However, the fact that she has not posted a single update, that she has 5 projects that are not fulfilled yet or produced, she has given us nothing in terms of information, does not give me a whole lot of confidence in her right now, or trust in her right now. And unless somebody else can show me how or where that spike in funding, I should say, if anyone at all can show me where that spike in funding came from, then I will lay off that claim. But to me, nothing else adds up other than she pledged hundreds of dollars into her own project. And there was a couple of pledges that day. I assume most of them were, $15, $20 pledges. There was 2 or 3 pledges, I think. Still, it does not add up to over $800. Now, I, of course, have asked her for refunds. I've sent her messages. She actually put it out there in a comment that she was going to refund me. She has not. She did respond once asking me for a PayPal address. If anyone knows me, I don't have a PayPal. I can't use PayPal, and I would assume that she would know that, but I guess she didn't. But I told her, I can't do that. I don't have a PayPal, to refund me via Kickstarter, since they're the ones who charge me, and that's how other creators refund me. And she never responded again. I also know at least a couple other backers that have asked for refunds, or that said they were going to ask for refunds via the comments or just via my Facebook group, and none of them, to my knowledge, have received any refunds. Also, just her lack of responding to comments, posting an actual update with information in it, is not acceptable. Where is she? Why is she not doing what she needs to do on Kickstarter? Oh, I'll tell you where she is. Look at her Instagram account. You will see pictures of her posing at the bottom of a waterfall. Her posing on a cliff or a mountain. She is out and about traveling to a variety of different places with your money that you pledged for on her projects. Mountain climbing, posing at different places. Not acceptable. Why are you not doing your job, which is get our projects out here? Is that her in a funk showing us her ass? Wow. And of course, I am blocked on her Instagram, so I'm just looking at this without my account. The last thing she posted that was card related was in May on her last Legion project. There was just some art, and that was it. Since that day in May, she has not posted anything card related on her Instagram. Not that she posted a lot. I mean, she did. Up until then, she did actually post quite a bit of stuff that was playing card related. And since then, it's all been personal stuff for her traveling and having fun, and probably at your expense. Let's look at her updates, by the way. I want to tell you about her updates. And she posted, the last update she posted with the crazy deck on the Organics account was February 25th. Says it's a quick update about the production process and shipping. Says they should be shipping, ready for shipping at the end of next month. The end of next month. Okay, so it's now been, that would have been the end of March. We'll say April. So April, May, June, July. It's now been almost 5 months. Nobody has received a damn thing. That is a blatant lie, Natalia Silva. What happened? Where are they? Why don't you post a follow-up update? Say, hey, there's an issue. We can't ship them out yet. It's been 6 months since that update, and she has not only not posted an update saying there was an issue and there's a delay, blah blah. She has just not bothered to say anything and has not shipped anything out. Also, in that update, she was promoting these super limited edition crazy decks. There was 100 of one, super limited. There was an ultra limited one with only 20 decks, and she was also having a sale of 50% off on her website. Go figure. And having promo codes and stuff like that. And none of these have been produced or delivered. And I wouldn't even bother to visit her website. I wouldn't bother to buy anything from her because you probably won't get anything at this rate. You might as well not. But her website still does work. As for social media, like I said, lots of pictures on Instagram of her traveling to different places. I don't think she's active on Facebook anymore. Excuse me. Let's look at her other projects, so the ones on her main account. De Muertos and De Muertos Animals. Just bear with me a second here. Okay, all of her projects. Let's look at the Muertos one. It funded in July of 2017. There's an update saying, "Yay, we're funded! Congratulations to all of you." For what, I'm not sure, but then there was no updates until January of this year, which is like 6 months of no updates. In 6 months, there are plenty of other creators on Kickstarter who could have produced and fulfilled a project. in 6 months. She did nothing and had 0 updates. Absolutely no updates. The Muertos Animals one, same thing. Funded last August. There was no updates until January. The Avalon one, funded in December. And that one, well, there was an update in January just because she updated all of her projects. That was just kind of a fluke. And the Last Legion, like we said, like I mentioned, there has been absolutely no updates. You'll probably see one in 6 months. If you're lucky. And the Crazy Deck one, again, there was no updates between when it funded in September of last year, almost a year ago, and this past February. And since then, there has been no updates, no movement. The comments, pretty much most of the comments talking about people reporting her. There's her phone number posted there and her email in case anyone wants to get in contact with her. Somebody linked her Instagram so you can see what she's actually doing. And a lot of people asking for refunds or calling her a scammer. In other words, we won't say here. And then the odd person defending her for some idiotic reason despite all these delays and non-updates. Now the updates she posted in January on her projects was basically this, and this is, like I said, it's been half a year. She posted production status that says both of her Muertos decks were in production process, whatever that means, and that she will keep you updated and post new information on the decks. That's it. That's the whole update. It's in production. Well, fast forward to February, a month later, she posted another update that said there was some kind of a delay and the decks are not ready for shipping yet. She needs to make a few changes, but that is it. Let me just see here. And she had the same update on all her projects, basically. Let me just see here. The Avalon project, there was an update advertising, promoting a super limited edition of 100 decks. In February, there was actually one on a card, on artwork, also in February. And then there was the production status one in March that says all the artwork is ready and it's currently in production and it's to keep you updated. Showing off some artwork. And then there was on the Muertos projects, there was an update in April the 18th. Says that unfortunately we're having a delay, decks are not ready for shipping yet. Shipping will start at the beginning of June, or actually beginning of June it says, because misspelling. But the good news is everyone will receive one extra standard deck for free as a bonus for the extra waiting time. Well, guess what? It is now the beginning of August and nobody has received a damn thing. And by the way, unfortunately, we're having an update. We're having an update. I apologize. Unfortunately, we're having a delay. Is the same thing you mentioned 3 or 4 months earlier. But what is the delay is the question. And then she posted an update in June on the Muertos and the Avalon decks that says she apologized for not posting a lot of updates lately, but she didn't have much news, so she can't post much. Unfortunately, we're having some unexpected problems with production process, and that causes a delay. Don't want to go into the detail and make it public. I believe in fixing problems and not just posting negative stuff and talking about them. And she's going to send an extra deck for free to everyone to make up for it. Okay, A. What it seems like she might be having a problem with the printers. B. You owe it to your backers to say something, do something, tell us something, not just post an update that says, oh, we're having delays. 6 months later, you're still having delays. You haven't sorted out your shit. That is unacceptable. Do something. Say something. Give us some information. Other creators will have said, hey, we're having an issue with the printers. We had an issue with the artwork. There was an issue with the samples. We had to change the colors. Other creators will tell you what's going on, why there's a delay. She has not told us why there's a delay, not once, just that there has been delays for 6 months now. After 6 months on some of these projects of not saying a damn thing. That is not acceptable. And I know a lot of people might say, oh, well, she's had 18 projects now. She's fulfilled, 15 of them. Or how many projects has she had? Well, she's had, let's say, 15 successful projects, and she's fulfilled 10 of them. That's great. But I could list you off other creators who had many successful projects and then disappeared. Like Circle City Cards, like Ember Waves, like Crooked Kings Cards, etc., etc. This, is not that is not an argument. You can't say, oh, well, we trust her. She's done a lot of projects in the past with no issues. No, because other creators have done the same thing. Quite a few, actually. There's been, like I said, there's been too many creators out there who have, were trustworthy, were a part of the community at first, and then they disappeared and scammed backwards out of the money. And I'm not saying, again, necessarily that's what Natalia is doing. However, she has done nothing, and I apologize for this video being a bit long and for me ranting, but she has done nothing in like a year on some of these projects except post updates saying that there's delays without telling us the source of these delays, and then she wants us to trust her. How can we trust you if you're not telling us what's going on, if you didn't post a damn thing for 6 months, and the last 6 months you posted essentially the same update 3 or 4 times telling us there's delays without actually explaining them and telling us you don't want to tell us what they are. Well, if there was delays and if there's an issue with the printer, just tell us what it is. The hell with the printer. If they're being a dick, if they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing, if they're giving you issues, let us know. Prevent other creators from using that printer and avoiding similar issues. Or just give us some kind of an update. Anything. Don't just tell us there's delays. Tell us what the delays are. And quite frankly, the fact that in the last, 3 months now? 2 months. 2 months since her last update, she has still done nothing, has not responded to comments, has not responded to refund requests, to my knowledge, is not acceptable. In fact, she hasn't even logged in. I saw from somebody posted a comment that she was having difficulties with not receiving Kickstarter notifications. That is bullshit. If you're having issues with receiving Kickstarter notifications, check your email. Maybe your inbox is full, or just log into Kickstarter and check it there. There's no reason why she can't or shouldn't be logging into Kickstarter on a weekly basis to check out messages and respond to comments. Any honest, trustworthy creator would do that. Most do. She has not. Oh, and don't even get me started on listing off, I could give you a damn list of all the things, comparisons to other scammers out there, and how she compares, because there's way too many similarities, if you will, to other scammers from the past. Like, for instance, the non-updates, not responding to comments, not responding to messages, not logging on, not producing anything. etc., etc. Quite frankly, as far as I'm concerned, Natalia, at this point in time, deserves to be in the list. If something happens, if she actually turns things around and delivers stuff, I'll remove her. Like I said, I will gladly eat my words on this one if she turns things around. But at this rate, at this point in time, I don't see that happening. Like I said, it's been a year on some of these projects since they funded with no developments. That is not acceptable. Other creators, like I said, in that time period have produced and fulfilled multiple decks in some cases. Can't think of anything else to say. Let me just see if I missed anything. And like I said, not posting a damn thing on the last Legion project, which is her last project. A lot of people asking her, or a few people asking her to post comments, saying, this one comment, one person said, the update must be pretty epic since it has taken 2 months to post. So excited, I can't hardly wait. Yeah, no kidding. And that was, well, that was almost a month ago now, but still, no updates whatsoever on the last Legion project. Say something. Thank your backers for funding your project. And like I said, you go to her Instagram, oh look, she's busily traveling all over the place. With what money? Guess what money? Your money, in my opinion. That is that. Comment, rate, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Do you still trust her? Are you still giving her a chance? I've lost all faith. That is that. I really hope she does not launch any more projects in the future because they should not fund. And I hope they don't. If by chance she launches another project in the near future before any of her other projects have any movement on them, I will tell you to avoid it like the plague. And by the way, incidentally, actually, I just remembered something. If I check very quickly. If I recall correctly, I believe, and let me just see again, the Muertos decks were supposed to be delivered in January. Yeah, it's been a while and still nothing. And let me say that it seems like almost every project she's done has delays, has had delays for some reason or another. She has never really explained why, I think, in most cases. And at this point in time, she has done how many projects now? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 successful projects she's had now. You'd think after all this time, with 16 successful projects, and how long has it been since the first one funded? The first one having funded in 2014, almost 4 years ago now. You'd think after 4 years and like 16 projects, she would have this down to a science. That would be very easy. Hey, here's your artwork, let's produce the deck, let's get it shipped and fulfilled. Yet, after all this time, she's still having issues, she's still having delays. If as a Kickstarter creator you haven't sorted out your shit after 4 years, you need to move on to something else, because that's just not acceptable. In 4 years' time, you should have learned from your mistakes of the past. You should have sorted out issues that were causing delays, and there shouldn't be delays anymore. The only projects he's had this year, by the way, that actually fulfilled, funded and fulfilled, was a Valentine's Day deck, the Love cards, which, by the way, was supposed to be shipped out in time for Valentine's Day, and guess what? They were delayed. Not acceptable. If you're going to do something, You're going to promise something, which she did promise, to get them out by Valentine's Day, and they were not there, to my knowledge. And she actually had more backers for that one than she did at the last Legion. 98 backers, and only 93 for the last Legion, including one of them being herself. But what I wanted to say, I believe I saw that some of these projects, if I recall correctly, launched at the same time another one was supposed to be delivered. I could be wrong on that, but I thought I saw that. Like this one launched in July of... no, okay, never mind. I think I was wrong on that. Well... yeah, whatever. Basically, though, still either way not acceptable. Everything she has done. Please, just give us an update. Tell us what the frick is going on. I hope this video will spur her to do something. And if it does, hey, I'll be happy to delete this video and get rid of it. If it doesn't, it will be here forevermore. So that is that. Comment, rate, subscribe. Once again, I apologize if this video is extra long, but that was a long rant. I needed to get that out of my system. Let me know what you think. I'll see you next time with more. Thanks for watching.